I have been lying to you, and it is time for me to admit the truth. I know that what I'm about to say will disappoint some of you. Others will undoubtedly take joy in my forced admission here. But either way, I can no longer live with this secret. The last few years have been hard for many of us. These are strange times. In particular, these last years have increased pressure on me in difficult ways, emotionally and mentally, to the point that I could no longer continue working on my series and books as I always had before. As this pressure mounted, something had to give. I thought I could handle it like I always had before, but that proved optimistic. And so, the time has come for me to admit the truth. I've been lying to you. Over the last 2 years, I've acted with extreme irresponsibility. Because I accidentally wrote an extra novel, in secret. I apologize. I couldn't help myself. We all respond to pressure in different ways. I, it might be said, responded characteristically. So how did this irresponsible event occur? Well, to explain that, I'm going to need to go into professor mode. You see, 2019 was one of those years where I overscheduled myself. What I told you earlier was true. Over these last years, 2019 in particular, I really was beginning to feel overwhelmed by everything I had to do. However, it wasn't the stories doing this, it was all the non-writing work, particularly the traveling. That is what is truly exhausting. You see, I keep notes on what I do day by day, and I've outlined for you my 2019. This largest block is writing time, and I also do make sure to keep a good, healthy amount of work-life balance and time for my family. These other non-writing days are essential, as they are the days I do interviews, I write introductions, and answer work emails. This section in red, that's the one that's really glaring. I was on the road a third of my year, 4 months spent traveling, mostly going to conventions. Now, I love seeing the world, which is why it's so difficult to say no when people ask if I want to visit. But when you look at it this way, with a third of my time spent on the road, you can see maybe why I felt so overwhelmed. I had dreams, plans, ideas, and I couldn't write them because I was touring so much. This was too much. I knew it was too much, but I was trapped in this cycle where I'd say no to traveling, then read the requests from fans and feel guilty that I wasn't going to see them. And I really do enjoy seeing the world, at least I did, before I started to get overwhelmed. Eventually, it started to feel like a chore. Then, 2020 hit, and the whole world changed. Suddenly, I couldn't travel, not even a little. I'd been planning to scale back, but scaling back in this context meant traveling 80 or 90 days instead of over 100. Fewer days, yes, but not by a significant margin. Except with the pandemic, that need to travel, indeed the option to travel, went away. Suddenly, I had time again. This is the result. I started writing it as a gift for my wife, telling only her, letting her read the pages as I wrote them. The experience of writing a book in secret reminded me of the early days of my career, before I published, when I could write whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. The process rejuvenated me, which is important because, like a lot of you, I was feeling stressed from 2020. When I finished this, I presented it to my wife as a gift, her own secret book. She read it and told me, "You need to share this." So after 2 years of keeping it just to her and me, I'm telling you, that's my big secret. Well, maybe not the entire secret. You see, the pandemic wasn't over. And writing that secret novel had been a ton of fun. So let's just say that one thing led to another, and a second secret novel materialized in early 2021. Longtime followers of this channel might remember me talking about one regret I've begun to have as I grow older. When I was younger, any new, fresh idea that came to me could end up becoming a novel. But the more I write, the more I lock myself into series, which is great. I love my big series. I'm working on Stormlight now, which is exciting as ever. I want my legacy to be the massive, interconnected universe that is the Cosmere. At the same time, I always saw myself doing standalone novels now and then, exploring the reaches of the Cosmere or other strange worlds. For a while, I managed to do this with novellas. But in recent years, with travel demands, I hadn't even been able to do those. I can sometimes write when traveling, but the more of it I do, the more exhausted I get, which makes it tougher and tougher to be productive. If you compare this average of the last 2 years to 2019, you can see a lot has changed. I did still travel, and I've also had more non-writing work days on average. This is mostly the time I've invested into YouTube and into our Dragonsteel convention, things my team and I see as replacements for me visiting you all in person. Even with this, the significant drop in travel time is added to both my writing time and my family time. If you leave me alone too long, I will start telling stories. It's a mathematical constant, as irrevocable as pi. And what would you expect to happen? The best part was, nobody expected me to do anything with this time. No editors were scheduling books because of it. No fans were wondering what I was doing with it. Because for most of my professional career, I'd been traveling 80 to 90 and sometimes 120 days a year. Suddenly, I had time for all those other ideas. The ones that weren't planned as big core series. The ones that I always wanted to be the spice of my career. I've always loved the idea of surprising you all now and then with some random Brandon Sanderson novel. I wanted my fans to consistently have the opportunity to get lost in something completely new, something surprising, different from what you'd seen from me before. This is the mindset that created the Emperor's Solar Warbreaker. This extra writing time has become very precious to me. Before 2020, I'd begun to let all of these ideas just wither away as there wasn't time for them. I'd begun to think that, as much as I loved the big series, they would consume the rest of my life. So, call this the silver lining of 2020. Life has been tough lately, but it has also restored to me something very precious. And I might have gone a little overboard because I've written 5 extra novels in the last 2 years. Look, I know. Don't roll your eyes at me. You deal with isolation and quarantine in your way. I'll deal with it in mine. We all handle stress differently, okay? 4 of these are full-length novels of adult-oriented science fiction or fantasy. One is a middle grade story, written as a gift to my children, which I'll probably make as a graphic novel. We'll put that one aside for now, as I don't yet know how I'm going to present it to you. But that leaves us with 4 full-length novels. I wrote 3 of these as gifts for Emily, and 1 purely for myself. 3 are in the Cosmere, 1 is simply completely different. I kept all 5 of these secret from my team until late last year. Then, I just left them on a table at our offices with the words "Top Secret" on the top of each one. The team had no idea. I'm a bit of a showman, if you can't tell, and this experience was a blast. I wanted to replicate that feeling for you in this video, which is why you might have to excuse my somewhat dramatic opening. I do apologize for that, but it's technically all true. I have been keeping a secret, and I think it will make some of you very happy, while others are just likely rolling their eyes at me. Regardless, if you don't mind, I'd like you to preserve the surprise for your friends and family. Please share this video. Share it widely. I don't often ask you to do this. You'll notice that I don't ask you to like or subscribe on any of my other videos. But I'd love it if this one went wide to everyone out there who knows about my stories. But when you do share it, don't spoil the surprise if you can help it. Because there's another secret. My team and I want to get these books into your hands, and so we're going to run a Kickstarter for them. You see, I think it would be awesome if I could send you one of these books, kind of like a book club, every few months. I'd like you to be able to have the experience I talked about earlier, the chance to read these books with no spoilers and no blurb. I'd like you to be able to go in blindly, knowing only that they're Sanderson novels and that I think they're awesome. If you back the Kickstarter, these books will come to you quarterly in 2023. I think it would be a blast if you gathered your friends, family, or book clubs and read these books having no idea what to expect. And for those without readers to share the books locally, I'll be supporting each of these novels through 2023 with special Q&As and book club threads on my various media platforms. My team and I talked long about when to run this Kickstarter, and we decided to do something a little audacious. You see, the Kickstarter is live right now. It began the moment we released this video. It's linked in the description, or you can go to this URL. We wanted this Kickstarter to be explosive, fun, and most of all, different. It's not every day you get 4 surprise novels to play with. But I also need time to revise these books, which is why we're releasing them in 2023. I'll be spending my extra time this year revising these novels. Imagine what we're doing is a kind of subscription box. If you sign up for the Kickstarter, you'll get a book from me every 3 months in your preferred format or formats. This lets me do something I've never managed to get work with traditional methods of publishing. I can give you bundles with multiple formats. Lowest tier is just the ebooks, but we're also offering an ebook and audiobook bundled together, as well as an ebook and premium hardcover, and all 3 formats together. And because I could never leave well enough alone, I gave my team a challenge. I asked, what if we create a full 12-month subscription box for the fans who are as crazy as I am? So yes, we're doing it. A full 12 months. No, I don't have 8 more secret novels. The other 8 months will be focused on cool swag items, each box dedicated to a different world, series, or concept from my books. A subscription box is something that a lot of you have asked me about. Some of my team have really wanted to try one out. But I don't generally like subscription boxes, as they seem to run out of material eventually and then just start repeating themselves. However, I love the idea of a limited subscription box running only 1 year. This resolves most of the problems I have. It's not meant to go on forever, just as long as it feels awesome. So, we're dubbing this a year of Sanderson. 4 of those boxes will contain the secret books, and you can get only those if you want. The other 8 boxes, if you want them, will include clothing, cool and useful items, and other cool Sanderson oddities. If you order the full 12 months, you can get it with ebooks, you can get it with audiobooks, which will also include the ebook, you can get it with the hardcover, which will include the ebook but not the audiobook, or you can do the full year of Sanderson, all formats, which will include all 3 formats, and it will include 8 months of cool swag. So, are you looking for a gift for the Sanderson fan in your life? Well, we've got your 2023 covered. You can find the details on the Kickstarter page. You can pick your format for the books and add the 8 months of swag boxes to it, or you can go all in for that super bundle. Right now, the only thing we've revealed about these books is the cover art. We haven't posted any summaries of the books. We've released no marketing material. We haven't even revealed the titles. The only thing we're saying is that 1 is non-Cosmere and 3 are in the Cosmere. One of those Cosmere books is about a character you've seen before, but who has never had their own dedicated story. If you and your book club want to go in blind, we'll try to preserve that for you. However, if you're the type who likes to know a little bit more about what you're getting, we've planned something special. Each week this month, as the Kickstarter runs, we'll be revealing and previewing one of the secret books. We'll also do a live stream each week, starting with one today. We'll be talking about the writing process of each of these books and giving you previews. Now, the first preview is coming this Thursday. So tonight's live stream, you will only know what is in this video. But on Thursday, I'll read the first chapters of the first secret novels, talk about my inspirations, and you can ask questions about that preview on next week's live stream. But I might raffle a lot of those questions, fair warning. That will all be here on the YouTube channel. We'll carefully mark spoilers and won't put them in the titles of the videos or social media posts in case you're of the mindset that you want to go in blind. We'll probably reserve the first half of each live stream for minimal or no spoilers, then talk about the chapters revealed that week during the second hour. I understand this is a big thing to spring on you and a large unexpected expense. So we tried to make the ebook tier relatively low cost. Beyond that, we will find a way to make these books available to you in the future in case you can't participate in the Kickstarter. We hope to have them up sometime the same month as the Kickstarter releases, at least an ebook and audiobook. Unfortunately, the hardcover editions, which will include full-color artwork and other cool extras, might not be available later. We aren't certain how we'll do the print editions of these books in the future. Finally, the subscription box is only available in the Kickstarter. You can see here how it's all going to break down. On the first month, January, you'll get a book. If you've signed up for the rest of the boxes in February, you'll get one dedicated to the Cytoverse, the Skyward series. In March, you'll get a Hoyd box, featuring some of the artwork that you can see on our Kickstarter page. In April, you'll get the second of the secret books, and so forth. 4 books, 8 boxes, each dedicated to a certain idea or theme. This crowdfunding method is an extremely useful way for us to gauge how much to print, and it provides a vital backend for us in getting books to everyone. For example, If you get the ebook or audiobook, we'll be delivering it directly to you via BackerKit on midnight the first of the appropriate months. Shipping the print books will take a little longer, I'm afraid. We'll release them in waves, and it could take us a few weeks during the month, depending on when we get them from the printer. Though we're trying very hard to be early in sending these to the printers, pandemic delays could always mess us up a little. We'll do our best for you. So, to wrap up, I have been keeping a pretty big secret from you, and I hope you'll forgive me for the strange way I deal with stress. For many people, 2020 and 2021 were huge emotional and mental drains, and these years haven't had many silver linings. My goal is to hopefully let a year of Sanderson lighten that burden a little bit. I see it as my job, being your humble storyteller, to lighten your burdens any way I can. Did I really just write the word humble in this script after naming 2023 the year of Sanderson? Kickstarter is live right now for 4 brand new Secret Sanderson novels. Thank you for putting up with me. You have no idea how hard this secret was to keep, but if there's anything I've trained you to expect from me, it's a good, old-fashioned twist ending.